Good morning. It's Wednesday, January the 7th. I'm Will Puckett. Thanks for joining us for Catch Up Quick. Right now, the Sevier County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help in finding a missing teen. Molly Kate Dixon is 13 years old with brown hair and green eyes. She was last seen on Monday near Shenandoah Drive in Seymour. She was last seen wearing a white tank top and pink pajama pants. Sevier County Sheriff's Office says if you have any information on where she might be, contact the Sheriff's Office. We have that number for you right now inside your WVLT News app. Two teens now charged after a weekend shooting in Hamblin County that was deadly. The Sheriff's Office saying it happened at an Airbnb on Old Poplar Road. This is a story we've been following for you. Deputies say two teens were killed in the shooting while two others were hurt. One neighbor who lives next to where the shooting happened says she was awoken by gunshots and heard screaming. She believes the screaming she heard may have been a mother of one of the teens either hurt or killed.
But the screams coming from that lady, it was horrible and it was gut-wrenching, and I could only imagine if that had been my child.
Now 18-year-old Adam Perez Jr. is charged with second-degree murder in the shooting, and 19-year-old Wayne Trevathan is charged with second-degree murder, party to the offense. The account that booked the stay in Hamblin County has now been suspended from the service, according to a spokesperson for Airbnb. Now, a Claiborne County man has received the maximum sentence for an aggravated assault charge. According to the district attorney, Jared Effler, 47-year-old Jonathan Thomas of Speedwell was sentenced to 19 years in prison this week. Thomas was convicted of aggravated assault, false imprisonment, simple assault, interference with a 911 call, and vandalism back in November. Effler said Thomas received the maximum sentence for the aggravated assault. Well, we're getting a better idea of everything that's happened before, during, and after Hurricane Helene. That's from Emergency Management in Cotton County. EMA director releasing a 200-page report detailing every decision made, including the one to evacuate downtown Newport as the storm was ramping up. Our Jared Austin spent the day learning more.
Downtown Newport is almost back to normal, with cars driving through and businesses reopening. But county leaders will never forget how it looked in September of 2024.
There was a while there, probably for the first year, I could not sleep past 3:15 in the morning.
In the 200-page report, EMA Director Joe Esway outlines how they were notifying people on social media of potential flooding days before it happened.
I was there, my staff was there, and everybody was on alert. You know, deputies and Newport City officers were on patrol. Volunteer fire departments were checking on people in their area.
At one point, Director Esway admits he wasn't in the right spot to help the entire county. He went to Del Rio to help with the water rescue with little to no radio communication. He's okay with that decision, though, because he helped save people's lives.
We probably rescued a couple of dozen people just in that 90 minutes that I was out there. So was it an epic failure? No, it wasn't.
Another call they admit was wrong was saying the Waterville Dam was a catastrophic failure. Esway outlines a conversation with THP in his report, citing Highway Patrol telling them it was failing. He and the mayor decided to make the call, leading to this.
2 hours will be underwater. Evacuate all downtown.
Okay, I'm scared.
While the dam never failed, both Esway and County Mayor Rob Mathis stick by the evacuation.
We would have buried half of our police force. It would have been a mass casualty event.
I also am very grateful that it happened, because I'm convinced, as is everybody who was a part of this operation knows, we don't believe, we know that saved lives.
While they avoided mass deaths in Cotton County, Esway still thinks about the couple who didn't make it.
You know, it was just, I don't know.
Mike and Jean Obrist tried leaving their home during the flooding. However, they died in the floodwaters on their property. Esway went to tell the mayor in person.
Being in that room at that moment, it was just the two of us. And I think it's our relationship that enabled us to have that moment, to acknowledge what had happened, to mourn their loss, and then also to realize we still have almost 38,000 people that are still depending on us.
Help coming from groups across the county, even some across our state. And after days of rescues, months of recovery, now it's about moving forward better and stronger.
The healing is in the purpose. You know, taking the things that we identified that need to be addressed, and no matter how small they are, fixing them. And I think with that, there'll be peace and there'll be healing, I think.
It's our Jared Austin reporting. Now, it'll take years for Cott County to fully recover, but Mayor Rob Mathis feels they'll come back better than they were before. Well, we have startling new details to bring you about just how many people in Tennessee were arrested for DUI, but had neither drugs nor alcohol in their system. Yesterday, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation admitted they undercounted those cases by the thousands. Originally, the TBI told our station in Nashville that 609 people were arrested for DUI between 2017 and 2023. Whose blood work later showed that they had neither alcohol nor tested drugs in their system. But now the TBI clarifying those numbers, saying instead of 609, there were 2,218. So if you had the new sober DUI arrests released Monday from 2024, the total in this time frame is now 2,547 innocent people arrested in Tennessee for a crime they never committed.
I think it's important now that we have accurate numbers. Obviously, I'm not going to say it was anything malicious, but I do think the legislation we passed last year kind of forced a deeper look at the numbers to make a jump from about 600 or so cases from that period of time to over 2,000 really does highlight this is something that needs to be addressed.
Now, when asked about how this could happen, the TBI says, quote, the original request required us to create a brand new system to produce the data, which upon further exploration after the law passed, we realized did not capture all of the qualifying cases. More law enforcement agencies are now teaming up with ICE here in Tennessee. So far, data shows more than 55 agencies in the state have signed an agreement with ICE. At the end of June, 14 agencies were partnered with ICE, and the agreement allows locally trained officers to perform some federal immigration enforcement, mostly identifying undocumented immigrants with criminal charges and reporting them to the state for possible deportation. All right, heads up, if you plan to go to Cades Cove or in the Smokies, you might see a little bit of smoke over the next couple of days. That's because the National Park Service is planning prescribed burns today and tomorrow. Crews plan to burn about 900 acres in the western part of Cades Cove. Officials say this will help prevent future fires and restore native habitats. Some roads and trails will be temporarily closed for safety reasons.
Your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Granger.
And we are going to have a warm afternoon. The clouds are going to kind of break up, giving us some sunshine. But just a reminder, no burning today in Sevier County because no burn permits issued due to a higher fire danger in that part of the region today. You can see from Gatlinburg how we still have some of those clouds. Your fish and game forecast shows us by 5:30 this afternoon a good time to head out and do some fishing. Your temperatures right now sitting at 55 Knoxville to 57 in Pigeon Forge, 56 Crossville to 57 in Williamsburg. A few of those clouds passing by, and that's the story for the afternoon. But I think they break apart just a little bit more to that 3 and 4 o'clock time frame for that sunshine. So we go from the 50s this morning, 66 for that high across most areas with lower 60s across parts of the plateau. So 66 Knoxville to 67 Pigeon Forge, 66 in Madisonville, Sweetwater, Kingston's at 65, 62 for Crossville to 61 in Jamestown, Williamsburg to Jellicoe 63 to 64, Newport at 65, as well as Hartford and Morristown at 63. I think it's an okay evening to go out and do some dining plans. So if you're wanting to sit on a patio, it won't be all overly uncomfortable. Put on that sweater. 57 to 46, clouds overhead. Rain should hold off primarily overnight tonight. 41 for the start of the day tomorrow. I'm going to skip Thursday. It's a warm day and rather cloudy. But Friday's the day we need to pay more attention to. We've got some rain that'll inch closer by 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. You can see the pockets of moderate to heavy rain that we have. This is going to be with us all day long, kind of fanning out through portions of the day. Where these pockets of moderate rain go is where we'll have some more of the issues of ponding and flooding on some of the roadways. And overnight into Saturday, we still have some heavy downpours that come through at times and stay with us for much of the day on Saturday. Even in the afternoon, these lighter greens will be kind of that misty air, keeping it damp around for a little while longer. So best guess, a quarter to half an inch for most of us. Some of us get closer to that inch by the time all is said and done. And this is just a 24-hour period leading into our Saturday from that solution. So periods of rain Friday into Saturday, clearing late in the day. But when I say late, probably after sunset, especially into the Smoky Mountains, then you're going to feel the colder air. You wanted to pull out that coat from Christmas for church on Sunday. You will need it even with the sunshine at 48 for the afternoon.
It's going to be chilly. All right, Kyle, appreciate it. Well, starting next week, you can start signing your child up for the state school voucher program. Applications for new families opens on January the 13th. There are at least 25,000 vouchers up for grabs, including families who received them last year. They had to apply for renewal last month. Now, the scholarship gives families more than $7,000 in taxpayer money to help pay for private schooling. Now, 20,000 students used vouchers last year in Tennessee, totaling $144 million. Half received it on a first-come, first-served basis. The other half had to have an income requirement. That cost, though, could double soon. Governor Bill Lee and House Speaker Cameron Sexton say they want to expand the vouchers to 40 or 50,000. Last year, they were handed out, again, on a half first-come, first-served basis, the other half on an income-based payment. Some parents reported issues with the online system, which did prevent them from submitting their applications on time. Well, the Tennessee General Assembly is back in session next week, and lawmakers will return to the state capitol Tuesday. More than 2,900 bills were introduced during last year's session. Nearly 600 of them were signed into law. Lawmakers have already filed several bills for this year's General Assembly. They focus on a number of topics, including public safety, education, AI regulations, and rural health care. Thousands of dollars are going towards improving your experience at the Museum of East Tennessee History. The East Tennessee Historical Society announcing they received more than $78,000 from the state. It'll go towards installing LED lighting at the Museum of East Tennessee History, which they'll hopefully fix lighting issues in the gallery. As part of the state grant, the project must be completed by the end of June. WVLT is proud to be your official station of the Vols, and the Vols are now back in the win column after picking up their first SEC dub as Tennessee took down Texas 85-71 inside the Food City Center. Jacoby Gillespie shining in this one, posting 34 points, shooting 5 of 8 from 3. The Vols also shooting better from the free throw line, 21-29. This is Coach Barnes' 5th straight win against Texas, where he coached for 17 seasons. Up next, a trip to Gainesville to take on the defending national champions. Tip-off against Florida is Saturday at noon on ESPN. And your number 22 ranked Lady Vols are heading on the road as they continue to win out in SEC play. They take on Mississippi State Thursday night in Starkville. They're coming in with 2 wins in the SEC over Auburn and Florida. Tip-off between the Lady Vols and Bulldogs is at 7:30. And the football Vols picking up their second commitment in the portal in this winter cycle. Former LSU offensive lineman Ori Williams is on his way to Rocky Top. Williams should now be the biggest guy on Tennessee's roster, standing at a whopping 6 foot 8 inches, 335 pounds. Williams telling our media partners over at VolQuest that Coach Heupel was a breath of fresh air when he arrived in Knoxville for his visit.
These head coaches that I've met over the past, they're really as you think a head coach would be. And Coach Heupel, he was really, he's a person, He wasn't, like the big CEO trying to act like a head coach would. He really talks to you as you are, you know what I mean? He's himself, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, after the visit to Rocky Top, VolQuest says that he canceled all the other visits because he knew where he wanted to go. Williams joins former Kansas State safety Quay Moss as Tennessee's only 2 portal commits so far this winter. And we want to bring you an update on the University of Tennessee's retired mascot, Smokey 10. Last year, during a biannual appointment, veterans discovered a small mass on Smokey 10's kidney and was diagnosed with kidney cancer. The oncology service at the Veterinary College examined Smokey 10 to determine the best palliative care plan that'll provide pain relief and comfort. The vet school posting on Tuesday that Smokey 10 continues to act like himself and he's playful. And even while his appetite is a bit diminished at that. The post saying that he is enjoying chewing on his bone and gets lots of loves and treats, and he had a wonderful holiday with his Hudson family. The 14-year-old blue tick coonhound made his debut during the 2013 football season. He retired at the end of the 2022 season, so a relatively good update on Smokey 10 for you today.
We the People, celebrating 250 years of America. Sponsored by Garza Law Firm.
Well, on January 7th, 1944, the United States Air Force announced production of the first U.S. jet fighter, the Bell P-59. 66 were built, but none entered combat. Still, the Bell P-59 paved the way for later generations of fighter jets. Well, that's going to do it for today's edition of Catch Up Quick. We appreciate you joining us. As always, you can stay streaming 24/7 on WVLT Plus, as well as inside your WVLT News app and on all of our social media pages. Your news continues at noon. We'll see you here tomorrow. Have a great day.